I always thought that risotto was this intimidating dish that I couldn't make because it seemed like it took a long time, you needed to have specific ingredients, so it was intimidating at first. But over time, I've discovered that it's actually not that hard at all. You just need a little bit of patience and some rice. I know that traditionally risotto is made with arborio rice, but I find that sometimes that's hard to find at the grocery store, at least where I live. So I tried it with just regular, plain old white rice, and it works. I've also tried this with brown rice, and it also works. The trick is that you just need to stir and stir and stir to create the starch that makes it creamy. You can just spend a little bit of time in the kitchen giving your food some love, and it turns out perfectly every time for me. So let's go make some risotto and I'll show you how I do it.
So I start by heating up some oil in a large pan, and then I add in some diced onion. I like to really caramelize the onions. I find that it gives really good flavor. And then I add in carrot, and celery. Of course, you can add things that you like. You don't have to add these specific vegetables. You can add whatever you want, or none of it. You can just start with the rice. So I put the rice in next, and I like to toast it a little bit in the oil. Then I add some ground up mushrooms. These I just pulsed in the blender. I find that this adds a really nice background flavor, but of course, if you don't like mushrooms, leave them out. Then I add some whole mushrooms. The nice thing with this is you can add as little or as much as you want of any kind of vegetable. I've done this with beets before, it's really good. So now we slowly add in our stock. I keep the stock warm on the other burner, and then I add it in by ladleful by ladleful. And every time that you add some in, you need to stir it around so that the rice starts to form and release its starches. So it's really just keep that stock handy and just add and stir. And then once that water has been, stock, once that's been cooked out, you add more and then you stir again. Now you don't need to constantly stir, but you do need to remember to stir after every single ladle. And then you can let it cook a little bit by itself. Now I'm adding in some white wine. That adds a nice flavor, but if you don't have it, if you don't consume alcohol, then of course that can be left out as well. You can use vegetable stock for this or any other kind that you like. I think for this one I used chicken broth. Now for the topping, I got some butter really hot and put in some sage leaves, and the butter started spraying everywhere. So here I am wiping you down because it just sprayed everywhere. But back to the sage. This is really, really delicious. If you've never tried fried sage before, highly recommend it. You just fry them up until they're crisp and take them out, put them on a paper towel lined plate, and then I add in my shrimp. I just had some seasonings on this. You can use whatever you like. I had some, I believe it was red pepper flake and salt and pepper, garlic, and some, I don't know what else I put on there, but it's really up to you. And of course, if you don't like shrimp or don't eat it, then you can, fry up anything that you like here. And that's what it looks like after. And here's the finished product. This is how the risotto turned out after stirring and stirring and stirring for probably about 30 minutes of adding the stock and stirring, adding the stock and stirring. There is no cheese, no cream, no milk in this, and it turns out that creamy. And this wasn't any kind of special rice either. You just have to be a little bit patient and gradually add your liquid and stir and stir and stir. And after about 30 to 45 minutes, it'll be done. Now I topped it with my shrimp, and then I crumbled up that fried sage and added that. It just adds a really nice flavor, and it pairs perfectly with the shrimp, and the mushrooms in the risotto are very nice. And there's the finished product.
Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.